Greetings, folks. The Sunday papers headlines say it all. A missing child presumed dead in Dublin under Tulsa's watch. A presidential race clouded by establishment figures. And party tensions boiling over. Whistleblowers silenced until they cannot stay silent anymore. Foreign powers calling our economy slow, costly and high tax. How much more do the Irish people need to see before they wake up, folks? The front pages may tell part of the story, but the truth, the real truth, is being uncovered every day by ordinary people like myself on social media, not in the pages of papers that serve the same tired system and political affiliation to create their own slant of propaganda. Day 10 of our update of our national health emergency crisis. Yesterday, just 1 hour after my TikTok video went live, the Food Safety Authority of Ireland issued yet another recall of supermarket products due to listeria contamination. This time, folks, it involves multiple batches of the Garden of Eden baby spinach and mixed baby leaf products being sold nationwide. We must, folks, never forget that only in July a man lost his life to listeria, and we need to be respectful and mindful of his grieving family at this time. But they need answers now. Several others have since been admitted to hospital across Ireland. Families are grieving, people are suffering, and yet the authorities continue to downplay or cover up even worse the scale of this national health emergency crisis. Yesterday, I met with a second whistleblower, this time a man in Tralee, a Kerry-man who once worked for a food wholesale distributors in Kerry. He told me how his job was to vacuum pack cheap Brazilian meat bought for €5 a kilo and chicken and into fresh Irish labelled packaging, which was then sold on to the wholesale market as Irish beef and Irish chicken. This, folks, was happening 10 years ago, and it raises serious questions now about what has been really going on in our food supply chains. When I looked and dug a bit deeper into the Pat Baker High Court injunction that silenced Cork native Dennis O'Callaghan from Charnival, I realised just how long the truth had been buried. Dennis O'Callaghan raised concerns about food recalls and food wastage years ago. He was right all along, it turns out. But instead of being heard, the man was gagged. The authorities investigated, found evidence, and still did nothing about it. When Mayfair Equity Partners purchased Pat the Baker and Irish Pride, they bought the goodwill of the company. But what about their due diligence, folks, on the High Court injunction that silenced Corkman Dennis O'Callaghan? What about their responsibility to act on the truth that he was trying to expose? If the authorities had listened to Dennis O'Callaghan back then, that poor man who died from listeria in July might still be alive today. This latest recall only proves what I've been saying since day one. The root cause of this listeria outbreak has not been addressed. The silence from Ballymaguire Foods, the HSE, the Department of Agriculture, the Minister for Agriculture, and the Department of Health, and the Minister for Health, and the food supply chains, along with the Food Safety Authorities of Ireland, their response is deafening. Hospitals are quietly managing cases, but not publicly acknowledging the crisis. This, folks, I believe, is a total cover-up and is costing lives. I'm asking every householder now to check your deep freezers. Look into your freezers. You may have some recalled items stored away. Please check the Food Safety Authority of Ireland website carefully. Your health and your family's health may depend on it. I will soon be doing an interview live with whistleblower Dennis O'Callaghan himself. And after my own research now into how the man was silenced, I want to give him back the voice he was denied 10 years ago. He was gagged for what? for telling the truth. It's time now for this cobbled together Irish government to cop on, instead of distracting us with nonsense about flags that we must face up to this national health emergency crisis. We need, folks, an independent tribunal of inquiry into the root cause of this listeria crisis, compensation for the grieving families who lost their loved ones, and for all the recent victims of food poisoning who have suffered medical bills, trauma, and lost out in work. And we need accountability. The individuals and companies in the food supply chain responsible for this must face justice, and heads need to roll. If the system, I believe, had listened to Dennis O'Callaghan, the whistleblower from Charleville in County Cork 10 years ago, lives could have been saved. We cannot allow silence and cover-up to continue. If you or your family have been affected by food poisoning, please contact me directly at info@michellekeane.ie, because your voice matters, and together we will not let this be swept under the carpet. This is no longer just about food recalls. This is about truth, folks, justice, and the right of the Irish people to eat safe foods. Day 21 of Pepper Advantage's update. Look, folks, all roads are leading to Pepper Advantage headquarters in Shannon tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. We stand in solidarity with James Glazier, who will be on the picket line to save his family home from the grip of the lowest of these vulture funds, Pepper Advantage. I'm calling now on the 174 selected, not elected TDs in all Dáil Éireann. If you truly represent the people, then stand with James tomorrow. Let's see if any of you have the courage to put your words now into action. James has already told me that he will protest this week outside Permanent TSB Bank in Tralee and outside Kelleher Coughlin Solicitors in Castleisland and Killarney. This case, folks, is not just about James. It's about every family and every farm under threat in Ireland. James told me that he has sent out approximately 30 letters between Permanent TSB Bank, Kelleher Coughlin Solicitors, the Central Bank of Ireland, Kerry County Council, Táilte Éireann, and he has made a full data access request, and he's uncovering shocking evidence. The site his family home is built on is landlocked. An auctioneer has put in writing that the property has no marketable value. There are serious questions about false valuations, title deeds, and shady undertakings carried out by banks and solicitors. And he's asked for the blue ink contract that Pepper has in relation to this undertaking. None of this, folks, is James's fault, yet his family is being destroyed in the process. This isn't just a case, it's a national scandal, the greatest shit show this country has ever seen in years. The central bank must intervene and now put a halt to Pepper's inhumane treatment of James Glazier. And let me be crystal clear, folks. Anyone who buys up family homes or farms from these firearm sales is complicit, and in my opinion, that makes you a scumbag, profiteering off misery and despair, while families are left homeless on the side of the road. It is a national disgrace that this case has even been allowed to escalate now to Pepper's headquarters all the way globally in North Sydney, to the desk of Andrew Comrie, the headman of Pepper worldwide, simply because Patrick Dwyer, the senior portfolio manager of Pepper Advantage in Ireland, has failed to engage humanly with James. Heads must roll now for what James has been put through. These vulture fund managers need to be held accountable. And if you have a problem with Pepper Advantage, or you've been treated unjustly by a vulture fund, email me at info@michellekeane.ie. I will highlight your story, because the more cases we shine a light on, the more powerful our collective impact becomes. This fight is about more than James Glazier. It's about all of us. Let's make this emotional. Let's make this unstoppable. See you in Shannon tomorrow at 7 a.m. Stand with James Leisure. Stand with Ireland. Gora Mila Mahagiv.